Hello, Abby. Here is your sewer scope from this afternoon's inspection. That's me, obviously, up on the roof, giving you a little bird's eye view of the backyard and the neighborhood. This was my only viable option. 1975 house. Well, we have a cast iron system here, a lateral sewer line. The cap in the utility room was frozen on. There was no way I could get that off. I banged on it for a bit. Because it was up on the pipe, I didn't want to cut it off. Sometimes putting a replacement cap on is a little tricky, and I don't want the people moving forward to have to deal with drips and leaks coming out of the sewer pipe. So there is another access point towards the front of the building, by the front foundation wall, but it's covered over with carpet. You can feel it with your foot as you walk on it. I really wish people wouldn't do that, but what are you going to do? So my only option was to climb, carry everything up onto the roof, and drop down from there. My newer camera got a little bit of weight to it, so that was a little bit of a challenge. This is the first time that I've dragged that beast up onto the roof, but all worked out in the end, and I was able to get through. So cast iron pipe, it's a metal pipe in a very wet environment. So it gets coarse, right? So it starts to scale up over time. This pipe hasn't been addressed in a really long time. So one of my recommendations is going to be, let's get the pipe clean. Let's descale the pipe, get rid of some of that buildup on the inside. And then all of the junk on the bottom of the pipe, as well as other things that are starting to get caught on the scaliness of the pipe. Clearing all of that out, good example right there, and coming up right here. Clearing all of that out would be great. If you look at the bottom of the pipe, you notice how it's somewhat flat on the bottom. Obviously, this is a circular pipe, so what's happening is cooking fats, natural materials, things like that are basically congealing and basically lining the bottom of the pipe. So we want to get rid of that. Just for good upkeep and maintenance, cleaning the pipe is not a bad idea. And I would also have the sewer and drain company make that access point in the main sewer stack accessible. Have them cut it off. They've got a plumbing license, so they can do work without any issues. Have them cut it off and put a replacement cap on. And that way you'll have easy accessibility moving forward if you need it. I've paused here to run down to turn on some water back at the kitchen sink. It just got a little bit challenging to be able to push the cable through all of that distance. You got to think that it's a relatively large camera head. It's a little over 3/8 of an inch cable. Going down a vent stack for about 16 feet and then pushing out another 55 feet or so, 54 feet. It's like pushing a wet noodle after a while. It's hard to get it to move. So running some water through there definitely helps kind of move things along. I'll be back in a second. Hang in there. There we go. It's actually not too much further down the line. If I would have just persevered a little bit, I probably could have made it. There we go. This is the connection point right there. So a little over 75 feet. All in all, not bad. And in my mind, it's a huge positive that you've got cast iron all the way out. You don't have to worry about clay pipe or roots or anything like that. We just need to be cleaned up a little bit. So read through my written report, my recommendations. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to be a resource if I can. And if you want to watch the overly exciting return journey, I'm going to keep the camera rolling as I pull back.